And he's giving a speech from his leadership manual, which is from a high-performance experience program that he's finishing. And this is his last requirement. And we haven't had a speech from this advanced manual before, at least not while I've been here. So this is a very special opportunity. Andrew is an advanced Toastmaster Gold, which means he's moved all the way through all the various advanced manuals on the speaking side. He's gone all the way through his leadership program, and this is his last project. So please welcome Andrew Kennedy on his leadership manual project.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, how many of you arrived at NPS Toastmasters because a buddy of yours tapped you on the shoulder and said, hey, I know this great club, it's really fun, you're going to learn to speak in public? How many of you came here through that? About 6 or 7. And the rest of you came through a student orientation, or you saw a flyer, or you went on the website. It's actually quite a bit more than I expected. In Toastmasters, the statistics are 70% of people arrive at the Toastmasters Club through word of mouth, through a friend who's already in Toastmasters talking about what a great experience it is. And about 30% of the people find out, they see a flyer, they see something on the web, they heard about it through a company they used to be part of, and now they're interested in it again. A few years ago, I was area governor for Area A2. Though in effect as the Area A1 governor, as happens quite a bit in our area, kind of faded away. And so I ended up taking over both the Salinas and the Monterey clubs. And we had a real issue. Most clubs have a pretty good idea of who their natural base is. Like NPS, you go to the student orientation, you have the flyers, all the people here are naval officers or affiliated with the government, very motivated people, natural pool of people on which to draw and bring into the club. The community clubs are more focused on drawing in a diverse cross-section of people who have no other connection to each other than wanting to improve their public speaking abilities. And they need to do more advertisement out in the world, flyers, bumper stickers, that kind of stuff, to get the word about Toastmasters and specifically about their club. However, we are having a dickens of a time in our area getting that kind of public advertising out there. So what would happen on the radio? What would happen with the Monterey Herald? What would happen with the television stations? 8 different clubs are sending in their request. Hey, can you mention Monterey Peninsula Toastmasters? Hey, can you mention Salinas Sunrise Toastmasters? Hey, can you mention BLT Toastmasters? And the editors go, you know what? We're done with you people. We can't put 8 different advertisements into our paper. We can't spend half an hour on the radio listing off each and every single Toastmasters club and all the details of, okay, this meets every other Wednesday, during a full moon, and this one meets at Fridays, but you got to have 48 hours notice to get into the gate. All those kinds of things have to be communicated during a public service advertisement. So I had the idea, why don't we get away from, outside of our kind of natural areas, like NPS Toastmasters goes to the NPS student orientation, that kind of thing. Outside of those venues, when you're going out into the rest of the world, and advertising in a newspaper or the radio, or putting up a flyer, let's focus on advertising all of the Toastmasters clubs collectively. Sounds like a pretty good idea, huh? We all get together, we all do one thing, we speak with one voice with the KACL, with the KAZU, we speak with one voice with the Herald. Maybe, just maybe, they'll be more inclined to put in that little blurb. Instead of referring them to 8 different clubs, we'll refer them to one reference, either Toastmasters.org for a website, or possibly have an area website that would explain the area clubs and what Toastmasters is all about, direct people there, rather than trying to get all this information out. So I took this on as my high-performance leadership program. And Toastmasters has this manual, part of the Advanced Communications Silver program, that is basically project management. Project management and leadership, where you start, you have a guidance committee, you start building a team to execute your project, and there's various little tidbits that they give you to help you along your way. I said, I need this requirement. I said, this would be a great thing to do for my high-performance leadership program. So I got my guidance committee together, got their advice and their input, and I went around I started my program by going around to each Toastmasters club and pitching my idea. Let's start doing more joint marketing. Everyone said, that's great. We're on board with it. So, okay, you're on board with it. Now let's all get together as a group to hash out how we're going to proceed with this. And my goal of the program wasn't anything specific so much as to get us in the habit of doing joint marketing. So I got everyone together, and everyone, we hashed out a lot of different things like, well, you know, Peninsula Pros is an advanced club. Should we really be advertising them to outside Toastmasters? Little things like that. You know, it's my role as the leader of this discussion group to kind of steer the discussion towards, well, if it's an advanced club and we don't let people from the public join anyway, maybe we should leave them off the flyer and focus things on what's really important here. That meeting went really, really well. Everyone was on board, ready to go. We got money from all the clubs. We printed up a gazillion flyers. We had a lady ready to go to the radio stations, another lady ready to go to the newspapers, another person talking with cable access about getting on television. And then it all fell apart. One of the things that I learned at that point was that if you don't have infrastructure to perform that kind of project, you might think about starting off with something a little bit smaller. In Monterey and Salinas, there isn't a lot of area cohesion. There's a few informal connections, a few people from here who've gone to area contests or gone to other clubs, but your loyalty is really to your own club. And the area governor wants to see Toastmasters as a whole promoted. But when it comes down to it, people are focused on their own clubs. So the kind of indirect benefit that this marketing effort would have provided, people didn't really latch on to. There was a lack of cohesion. We had the one group get together, but it's a lot of time and effort to bring people from 8 different clubs all together for a meeting on any kind of regular basis. And not being habituated to that, this being the first time that we'd ever gotten together as a group, there's no history and no expectations set. So the incoming officers didn't realize that this is something that when they took on an officer role, they would have to continue to do. And not expecting it, they weren't prepared to take on that obligation. And the last piece is unsustainability. In Toastmasters, we're always encouraging people to go on to the next role, to reach the next thing. Like becoming club president. You spend your first 6 months of your term just figuring out how to be club president. Well, it's a lot to ask that same person to also take on this other project that doesn't directly improve the educational benefit of their club. It's a neat idea, but it's a distraction from their core set of responsibilities. So my project was, in effect, a failure. But what I learned from it, you can fail. It's okay to fail so long as you learn your lesson. And my lesson was I should have concentrated more on focusing on building area cohesion, starting with little building blocks, and instead of trying to do this gargantuan project from the get-go. And that's my high-performance leadership program. That's it.